Here we go. Okay, I should be live in like 3 seconds. There we go. Here we go. Okay, it says I'm live. Okay, I'm just going to full disclosure. If my internet crashes, I'm just going to go ahead and record this on the side and upload it. So my house got hit by that storm, and for some reason, ever since the power came back on a week ago, the internet has been shit, and we're getting it fixed on Wednesday. So there's nothing I can do. It's been intermittent since. So that's just the way it is. So here's the scoop, guys. I'm going to talk fast, and like I said, if this crashes, I'll just record it later, and I'll upload a video in relation to this. So here's the scoop. We're in a changing market, and this is my favorite kind of playground to play in. I love, and I'm sorry about the shady lighting too, because whatever. Whatever. It is what it is, man. Anyway, so the point is it is going to get better. But I just got back, okay, from Ironman, and it's been crazy ever since I got back. So here's the scoop. Oh, yeah, my Ironman bracelet's still on. So anyway, we're in a changing market, and one of the things I'm going to talk about today is the biggest problem that I'm seeing in with a lot of the agents that we work with. So I love this market. You will never hear me complain of this market. I like that the interest rates went up a bit. I like that housing prices have adjusted a bit. I'm just going to point out a really interesting fact. If you're in a market that for the last 2 years your prices went up 40%, I want you to remember something. We've been in a seller's market before that. Okay, so it was about 2 years leading up to it. We had 2 years. We're running a cycle. The only reason it feels dramatic is because A, we've never had more media working against us than you've ever had. Okay, so the media is working completely against us. So as far as I'm concerned, you can't compare this to the 80s markets because I don't even think there was internet in the 80s. I have no idea. But anyway, there probably was. But anyway, I was a toddler. What was I going to do? Anyway, so the point is that you're sitting there and you're comparing markets to things like 18, 19% interest. They're not going to do that. Let's like calm down. But you're seeing all sorts of speculation and garbage. We called this back in November. Okay, so I know it's a little spotty, so I'm seeing the spottiness, so just bear with me. Anyway, so long story short, we called this back in November. We called exactly this, 0.5% increase. We said the market was going to slow down June, July, and August. I'm not worried at all. Okay, so you're seeing 40% increases in my city. It adjusted 16 to 20% in the last 90 days. That still leaves us with anywhere from 10 to 13% over a 2-year period per annum of price increases, which means you're still far ahead. A regular good seller's market, you're seeing about 5% per year of pricing increase, which means you're double, if not triple, in most markets across Canada and Ontario, still after the adjustment of the last 90 days. So you are bananas if you think this is a bad market. You're bananas if you believe that the market's going to crash. If you know anything about the GDP, you understand that the Canadian real estate economy is directly derived with contributing the highest amount of all G7 countries into the GDP. So why would they want to crash it? Will I agree? On one political note, I will say that politicians are completely out to effing lunch with reality. They don't know anything about real estate. They don't know anything about the real estate market, investing in real estate, or anything like that. So that is a cautionary concern. I don't believe that they're the best people to be dabbling in our market. The reason we had this problem, if you guys want to know, is because we had 3 rate decreases rapidly March of 2020, which was completely irresponsible by the government allowing, and that caused this whole nightmare. So you know what? Be careful who you vote for. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so let's get into open houses. So here's the biggest thing. When we're coaching people right now, we're seeing that open houses, first of all, you'll never get rid of them. I'm greatly disappointed. If you saw my video during COVID, I said this is our one chance, one opportunity to stop doing open houses as realtors on Sundays. What the hell are we thinking? Like seriously, in the middle of a Sunday afternoon, 2 to 4? That was designed in Texas in 1930, and we're still doing it. I'm like, man, like seriously, does anybody want a life on the weekend? So anyway, so open houses on Sunday afternoon still happening. I'd like to see more teams start to switch over to Thursday nights or something. Like, Lord love a duck. Let's get out of the weekends ruining it for all of us. Anyway, so here's the thing. Really what we want to look at, guys, is the open houses. What I see a lot of people doing is they're going to open houses, and if I hear it one more time, I might literally lose my marbles, I guess you could say, is the best way to say it, the Facebook way to say it. Look, everybody keeps saying the same thing. I did an open house, nobody showed up. I did an open house, 2 people showed up. I did an open house, they're all working with realtors. If you own a team and you're hearing that, You got the wrong people in the bus, okay? You got the wrong people in the bus. You've got the wrong people rowing your boat. You really have to wake up to that. That is the biggest farce I've ever heard, okay? Yes, if you do absolutely nothing and all you do is put an open house sign on and show up the day before, you probably, how hard has that agent or any agent on this watching this, how hard are they working? Okay, because I'd really like to know. So we designed a list. If you need a copy, you have to reach out to me. So send me a DM and I will, with your email address. Do not put it on Facebook. Send me a DM on here and say, send me over the list and here's my email address. I came up with 21 things that you can do prior to doing an open house, okay? And it's your pre-open house lead generation. On average, our clients in this market are getting 20 to 30 people through their open houses consistently, all the time. They're hammering out at least 5 to 7 new appointments each time. I'm going to point some facts out to you, okay? First thing is, if you do nothing, you will have nobody show up to your open house, okay? It's the same thing, okay? If I don't exercise, I'm probably not going to be fit, okay? I'm going to suck at 90% of the things I do, okay? That's exactly how it works out. If I eat too much chocolate, I can get fat. Like, it's that simple. But I'm also allergic to chocolate, so there could be other consequences. But the point is that input and output is something that's very common in the world, okay? So the market is not terrible. All right, people are confused because the media is terrible. Okay, so people are confused. So really, you have to do work to get people to somewhere. It's simple as that. It's called lead generation. So out of the 21 things, I'm going to point out some facts to you. First thing you want to do is what I would do is I would look up if I'm doing a single family home. Okay, so a nice small single family home, I'm going to be targeting people who are going to be moving up, or I'm going to be targeting the generation moving down, downsizing. I'm going to go one or the other, and I'm either going to target cancel, expire, withdrawals, and door knock the area and triage it more carefully. I'm going to get on group sites, and I'm going to hammer out. If I'm a cold caller, I'm going to be calling neighborhoods, and I'm going to be like, hey, it's Mary-Anne. I just want to give you a quick call. You're in a townhouse in this area, and I just want to give you a call. We're hosting an amazing open house. It's perfect for anybody moving from a townhouse to a single. That kind of represents your demographic. Would you like me to send you a copy of the open house tour and the invite information in case you want to pop by this weekend? Okay, two things I'm doing. A, I'm building my database by attaining the email address and contact information. B, I'm actually lead generating for that open house. Okay, so I will get the email information. So I'm weeding everybody out basically. Now, if your agents aren't doing that, and I will call anybody out for that, unless you're probably coaching with us, I guarantee you're not that good at doing that stuff because we hold you highly accountable to it. So you have to really watch that. Make those calls. And I don't mean 20, I mean get the freaking list and hustle it, do it. This is a time where you're going to have to work a little harder to get people there, okay? But on the flip side, you're going to send those people a copy of the tour and information on the house, and you're going to start building rapport with them. You remember we've talked about the funnel, build rapport with them. That's one key area, all right? Next thing, are you actually sending out a great email to your entire database saying, here's where our team's at. We've got 4 amazing open houses, and giving that to your agents so they can send it to their databases. Is that happening? Okay, again, you want to include the virtual tour, but you want to have a sign up. Third thing, what are you doing at your open house? Do you have a get topics? Oh, shit, my power might have just gone out. It's possible. But anyway, maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. If you cannot hear me, put it in the little thing. But I just heard a beep and I was like, uh-oh, sounds like something locked out. Okay, so the third thing is this. Who do you have at the open houses? Okay, so the third thing about having people at your open house is have somebody who understands finances. Look, everything in the economy right now is freaking people out about finances. So what are you doing? You have a house, you have a venue. Why not have people who are really great at understanding finances? You could have a financial planner there who can talk about that. You could have a mortgage representative there who can talk about that. You can have anybody. You can have mortgage broker there. You can have all 3 if you want. You can be like, on this open house, we understand that you guys might be a little confused, so we're going to have an in-house, on-hand mortgage representative sitting in the kitchen to answer any questions you want. Equally, if you're concerned about your retirement and investing and everything else like that, and you don't know what to do because this is a great house for a downsizer, we're going to have a financial planner sitting in another. He'll be in the dining room or she'll be in the dining room, and they'll be talking about your financial future. Financial future and your successes. So, and how we can do that. Like, listen, this is not Romper Room. So if you advertise that and you're more creative outside of the box, then, and again, I'm not concerned about how many people show up. What I'm concerned about is what are you doing to get people there? Okay, I don't care about how many people show up. If you're sitting there, what you do in your marketing, you can be like, and if you can't make it, we will have a little blurb or a little video. If you have a financial planner or you have a mortgage broker or somebody with a financial background that you feel can answer some of the hottest questions in today's consumers to battle the things that are really happening in people's lives, like, people are concerned about overspending. They're concerned about inflation. Who do you have at your open house that is talking about this stuff? And are you actually advertising it, or are you just throwing up a Facebook post going, I put it on Facebook? Okay, first of all, that means nothing. Okay, if you're going to do something like that, go all in. Don't go half-ass on this stuff. Go all in, meaning get your person, whoever's going to be your guest, get them to do a 30-second video and be like, I'm so-and-so. Here's the top 3 things that I want you to know about, and I'm going to explain to you. I'll be at the open house, though. No pressure. Stop by, have a conversation, ask me a question. Don't be shy. You're getting traffic through and you're collecting database info, and now you're doing stuff. But get it out there. If you do that and you post something and you get nobody at your open house, understand you didn't do enough. Don't go back to the water cooler at the office around 75 other agents who had nobody show up at their open houses and think, well, they didn't have 17 people, therefore I'm not doing so bad. Maybe you're all doing the wrong thing. Did that ever occur? Because we're getting the people at the open houses with our clients. So again, reaching out and doing that, inviting people, having something there that people might find interesting that'll get people there. Simple as that. You've heard me talk about Girl Guide cookies and other things like that. Those are key things. A couple other things you want to be doing for your open houses as well. Again, are you live streaming through them at all in any capacity? Or are you guys showing up to open houses and you're not doing anything? Have you done a lifestyle video tour of the neighborhood and actually said, hey, listen, I'm doing an open house. Check this out. I'm going to walk from my house to Peachtree Island, which is a beach, by the way. If I did that walk, it would take me 17 minutes to walk from my house to the beach. It takes 17 minutes. I could film that walk. Yes, it would be 17 minutes of me standing with a stick in my hand walking. Okay, but then I'm going to put that video on fast forward, and I'm going to put it on fast forward. Then I'm going to throw up the video and say, I'll be at this open house. Check out this. Here's a quick video of how fast you can walk to the beach. Done. Okay, get them out there. Start pushing this. Be really creative about it. Have your team visited the local businesses. Okay, every local business, you can sit back and you can go in, introduce yourself, collect a name and number. Again, I'm not caring so much about who shows up at the open house. If your team goes to all the local businesses, or you are doing an open house, go to every small local business owner in the area, and there's plethora of them, and have a conversation with them. And just be like, hey, listen, you know what? I'm doing a great open house in the neighborhood. I love your card. I like supporting local. Nice to meet you. Are you the owner? That's awesome. Do you want to stop by? I'd love to send you a copy of the tour, just in case you have any family or friends or people who come in here who might want to move to the area. Get it out there. There's another contact for your database. Again, doesn't matter if that person shows up at the open house, it's a contact for your database. Next thing, you could door knock. You can do an entire door knocking campaign, okay? And that's something that shocks me too. The door knocking script is no different than the cold calling script that we like to use. If you're door knocking in an area trying to get people to your open house, it's the same thing. We're doing a fantastic open house around the corner. It's great for people who are moving up. Looks like you're in a townhouse. I'd love to send you a copy of the video. If you can't make it, would you give your feedback? We're very curious with the pricing changes, what you think of the house, and it's also important to get yourself updated on what's happening in the area. Again, the measurable is not how many people showed up to the open house. The measurable is how many people did you speak to, how many people did you collect their contact information, and how many people received the virtual tour of that open house. Okay, gone are the days where I think you're going to get 70, 80 people at an open house, guys. But if you're collecting 30, 40 email addresses and sending that tour out to a bunch of people, inherently you're going to get overflow. And if you're doing that much work, you're going to get 20, 30 people at your open houses, but you're also going to get 30, 40 new members into your database. And you can follow up afterwards and be like, sorry, we missed you. What did you think of the virtual tour? Relationship building is the key. Okay, very, very much. Too many teams that we coach are focusing in on talking to people and not doing the work. A lot of the teams we coach are doing the work, but enough of them we're hearing in the industry. People will call me up and they'll be like, I've had a terrible year, or the last 90 days are terrible, or the market's crashing, or no, open houses suck because I'm only getting 3 people through. Not true. Next thing I want to say, when people do come through, if they say they're working with an agent, get clear I'm dead serious. If it's, first of all, I don't even know why it's on your sign-in sheets. I would never do that. You build relationships with people, and that's how it works. But anyway, if you're sitting there and somebody signs in, they say that they're working with a realtor, there's two questions you want to ask them. First question is you want to say, that's awesome. Now, how many exclusive listings, off-market opportunities are you receiving from your realtor? Okay, so our office has 100 exclusive listings right now. So if our office has 100 exclusive listings, we always ask that question. How many exclusive listings is your office carrying? Well, or how many exclusive listings is your agent sending you? If they're like, well, I'm only getting one or two or not many, say, okay, well, here's the thing. You said you were working with a realtor. I'd love to send you some of them, or at least hear what you're looking for, so I could help you with that. How long is your contract in writing with that realtor? If you have realtors doing an open house and they are coming back to you and saying, including yourselves, guys, if you're a realtor doing an open house and you are not finding out when the contract expires, air quote, then how do you know they're working with a realtor under contract? Just because they told you that? Listen, there are times where I have not told the truth about my age or my weight. Okay, there are definitely times I've done that. Anyway, that is a true story. So anyway, but it's hard being 30. Anyway, so long story short, there are times where I fibbed on both of those. And the reality is that guess what? We don't do it because we're mean. We just do it because we're like, I don't want to deal with like the questions. I don't want to be told like for an 80-year-old woman, I look pretty good, right? So anyway, so long story short, that's kind of how we jam with that. It's like if you're coming back from an open house and people are telling you that they're working with a realtor, you better find out, are they under contract? And if they are, wonderful. How long are you signed under contract for? And then if they say they don't know, say, well, listen, I'll follow up with you tonight because when you're done with that contract, if you interview other agents and haven't found a house by then, I'm going to share some of our off-market opportunities with you, but equally, I'd love to interview for the position. So I'll follow up with you tonight, get some feedback on what you've seen, and that's pretty much it. But too many realtors are coming back saying, they're working with a realtor just because they checked a box on an open house sheet. It's like, really? Okay, well, real estate is competitive. We do realize that. It is a competitive industry. There's over 3,000 of them in my city. There's over 40,000 of them in the GTA. So if you don't think it's competitive, it is competitive. All right? So at least do the next steps. Too many people, again, they come back in and they're like, they're working with a realtor. So, that's just how it is. And it's like, no, that's not how it works out. Okay? So it's very, very important that you get that information so that you can take it to the next level. Then you call them up. Again, 2 weeks before the contract expires. So if the contract expires June 30th, I'm calling June 15th and I'm going, hey, it's Mary-Anne. Listen, just want to do a quick check. I met you a couple weeks ago. Did you end up finding anything? No? Okay, cool. Well, you said your contract expires June 30th, right? Yes, wonderful. Okay, well, would you mind? I'm just going to interview for the position. Would that be okay if we set something up? Because I would love to hear what you're looking for and, maybe you're interested in checking out second opinion. Okay? It's nothing wrong with that. Now, everybody knows if the realtor is with your company, I usually say stay away from the people within your company. That's kind of, there's a line to competitiveness. Like, I don't ever want to compete with my teammates. I want to play with my teammates. I don't want to compete with them. That's just how it is, right? So I would never want somebody in my office doing that to me, but I would fully understand if it was in a competing brokerage or competing office. Okay, so it makes a lot of sense. So what you're really hearing here is those are a few tips. Okay, too many people, again, if you're not getting people at your open houses, what are the things? Like I said, we have 21 things. You can send me a DM. I'll send you the list of them. But we have 21 things that we do prior to an open house. We usually start with agents saying pick 3 to 5 things and then build and build and build. But your entire week of lead generation, about 20 plus hours, should be lead generating to get people to that open house. But equally, you're going to be collecting names, numbers, and email addresses at the same time, which is excellent. So not only are you going to get a good turnout for open houses, you're going to be building your database like a landslide. You're going to pick up more listings. You're going to see tons of stuff. So I get really, really frustrated when I hear people say that open houses suck or open houses, everybody's working with an agent. I'm like, I hate stuff like that. I'm just like, if you blow me out of the water, okay, like I could have the best personal trainer in the world, but if I walk in to a club to drop something off, or I'm just checking out the equipment somewhere, or whatever the case is, or trying out a new class, and that somebody blows me out of the water with how they built a relationship, how they followed up with me, how we connected at the open house, I'm telling you, it would be really tough. Loyalty is a very interesting line, okay? And most realtors that I know of don't sign BRAs. If you want to know the truth, most of them don't. So at the end of the day, when I hear that they're working with a realtor, I often question that. So it's very important. Oh, looks like I froze. Looks like I froze, but now I'm back. Okay, so just to wrap it up, you heard a few of the tips that we have, okay? Other things that we do, again, we advertise. All the open houses should be everywhere, okay? And if you are, again, if you're doing a condo corporation, you're doing a condo open house, talk to the board of directors, offer a referral program, talk to the actual property management company, talk to the manager, the superintendent who lives there. What have you done to actually get confirmations and exchange emails? Again, what I don't want to hear is a lot of people say, well, I door knocked. You didn't door knock the right way. If you came out and went door knocking, set a goal, get 100 email addresses. Now when you tell me you sent that virtual tour to 100 people, I will know that you actually door knocked. Okay, because what I hear a lot of the times is like a flyer, and I don't know why you would do that, but you know, people go to the doors and they're like, hey, I left a flyer, or I told people I'm having an open house on 123 Main Street. Why don't you stop by on Sunday? And then they get 40 people who told them to their face that they did that, and then everybody's like, yes, oh, yes, that's great. I'll show up. I'll show up. And then they're like, I got 40 people who said yes, and like everybody feels like they win. And meanwhile, you're in sales, you got nothing, and then you show up and nobody's there. So remember, saucier open houses, like let's get creative. It's 2022. We came out of 2 years of really weird open houses and shit like that. So let's get a little creative. Have a reason for me to come to your open house. Oops, I froze again. There we go. Have a reason for people to come to your open house. Understand today's biggest consumer concerns and have the right people in your open house answering questions. Live stream from the open house. Have things done. Do a pre-open house video. Get me excited about it. I want to show up and be blown out of the water.